This is Steve Austin, the guy that used to play Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I play Hugo Panzer on Chuck.
Hi, my name is Graham Jones, but you can call me Gray. This is my show. It's about Chuck. It's filled with interviews, the latest news, crazy co-hosts, and spoilers that'll make your day. Oh, wait, I need to go back. I host these TV nights. They used to be pretty boring, but everything changed when I found NBC's new show, Chuck. Pretty soon, my TV night got pretty crowded. Guys I didn't even know were showing up the door. Big, important guys. Really scary, nasty, get killed for hosting them guys. Next thing I know, these super episodes are downloaded into my brain, which means every moment of my life, I'm thinking about Chuck. ChuckTV.net sent their top people to protect me. That's Mel and Liz. They're pretty zany. They co-host with me now as a cover. So now I must welcome you to Chuck versus the Podcast, the #1 TV podcast for NBC's Chuck. This is Gray.
This is Mel.
This is Liz.
And we want to welcome you to Chuck versus the Podcast, episode 38 for Monday, January 25th, 2010. And look, here we are.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, this is our first full video podcast coming to you live and in color. How do you like that?
It's so cool. We're really excited about venturing into adding video to our podcast, especially because it comes with our exclusive interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin, who guests on tonight's episode of Chuck. That interview is coming up after the news.
Now, this is our second podcast in just a few days, so we don't have a lot of new news to cover, but we do have a few things. Really, really exciting is that Lee from MySentimentExactly.com scored an interview with Adam Baldwin, and she's looking for questions from the fans. So if you haven't seen that news item on ChuckTV.net, you can go to the article there and get the link. Please visit her site to leave your question for Adam Baldwin. You've seen Zach in the news a lot in the last couple of weeks, and people have actually commented that we haven't seen as much of Yvonne Strahovski and Adam Baldwin. Well, this is your chance to interact with him, so please do send in your questions.
And make sure that you bookmark her site so that you can then see it's a web show. Apparently, she's doing a video podcast herself, I believe, with Adam. So make sure you bookmark her site once you go and keep an eye out for when that airs.
Yeah, speaking of appearances, we've received word that Zachary Levi will appear on the Ellen DeGeneres show today. So be sure to set those DVRs or stop by ChuckTV.net and see the video. That should be fun.
Yeah. We're really excited. We have a new contest that launches today. We are giving away a Chuck press kit to one lucky fan. I was so stoked when Warner Brothers said we could do that. They've given us an additional Chuck press kit. It does include the screener that has the first 5 episodes of season 3. It also has the spy kit, which is a voice disguiser, a secret message kit, and it also has some super cool spy glasses. So that's all, and it's boxed in this really neat little package. It's top secret from the desk of General Beckman, and it has a hilarious note from Josh Schwartz and Chris Fedak as well. So stop by ChuckTV.net for details on how you can win a press kit. Gray, I think you've missed your calling. Give Vanna White a run for her money.
Yeah, I know my daughter had a hoot with the spy kit and the voice disguiser and all that kind of thing. Really, really, really cool.
You know, my original intent when I got the press kit was to kind of preserve it so that we could do a giveaway with it. Unfortunately, the lure of the spy part of the press kit was too much, and the nieces and nephews absconded with pretty much everything. So it was really nice of Warner Brothers to offer us one that they have not touched to give away.
And actually, I really like the glasses as well, where you can see behind you. There's a little mirror on the side of them.
Took me forever to figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm like, are these supposed to be X-ray vision? Are they just cool sunglasses? Oh, wait a minute. Peripheral vision.
Demonstrate these as well. And I'm going to point out that
Suave.
The mirrors on the side. Okay.
Suave.
The
man.
benefit of a video podcast.
Indeed.
I tell you.
Now you can see how wacko we are.
Yeah.
You've suspected, but now you know.
Yeah. But speaking of video podcast, we have an interview with Steve Austin, who I interviewed in my LA trip in September. Enjoy. Please note, minor spoiler warning. So I want to welcome Stone Cold Steve Austin to Chuck versus the podcast. How are you doing today?
Doing good. I just woke up from a nap, so bear with me.
Oh, no problem. So you're on Chuck. This is your last day shooting. How's the experience been so far?
It's been wonderful. The first day was a little rough. I had a hard time getting settled in and find out, what the flavor of the show was. So now that I'm settled in and doing some scenes today with Zach Levy, and he's been phenomenal, and I'm having a lot of fun. I started having fun on the second day once I got settled in. It's been a great experience for me. I've never seen an episode because I rarely watch TV, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've worked before with Merritt Yonka, the stunt coordinator for the show. How was it seeing him again?
It was great, kind of like a family reunion. We were very close back in the days of Nash Bridges, and I can't remember how many episodes of that show I did. And so it's been good to get back in touch with him, and we're exchanging phone numbers, and now we're going to stay in touch from now on. So it's always good to meet nice people, and it's really not good to meet nice people in this business and to stay connected with them. So it's been fun getting back in touch with Merritt.
Mm-hmm. And you've done a few feature films now, but how is the action of a TV show compared to the action that you've done in the past?
Well, I just think the action, I think, in this is it's pretty much straight ahead, but done with a little bit of a flair or comedic angle from Zach, who plays Chuck. And I think you're basically going through the same beats and the same intensity, or not quite so much, but it's Zach being able to have fun with his character at your expense, and you're pretty much a setup guy. And it works, and it works particularly well with him doing it for the show.
Mm-hmm. And so would you like to do more of this now that you've had this little taste?
Oh, absolutely. It's been a blast, and I have a short attention span anyway, so to come in here, and it was very similar to back in the Nash Bridges days, come in and shoot out in 4 days and go on to the next thing. But it's been a very good experience for me. I love comedy. I love anything that makes you laugh, and I love Zach gets to have a lot of fun in this episode at my expense, and for actually people in this industry to actually see that I have a sense of humor, which I don't think too many people do. Mm-hmm. They just they were so accustomed to seeing me on on the Monday Night Raw show, and they think that's who and what you are. So this was a fun thing for me to do, but also a chance for me to show these people out here a different side of Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm. And what can you tell me about the character that you're playing?
The character I play is named Hugo Panzer. He's a master of close quarters combat. When he gets to kill someone, he likes to strangle them. And so there's a little bit of a sword fight in this episode. But Hugo Panzer is, I think, on the first day I was taking him a little too serious. But I think his intent to kill, but maybe, and he is a master of close quarters combat, but he's sometimes misses a few beats mentally.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome. So, so will we see you doing more comedy work in the next few months, or do you have anything on the agenda?
We will see. I know that as we speak, I'm leaving Thursday to promote a film that we filmed last year that comes out in the UK. And I know we're about to start another independent movie in Vancouver. We're going to start filming that on November 1st or the 14th is our estimated start date. But for something like this, or to do another episode of this show, or for just to be on another show, it's been a good experience for me, and I really would like to do more.
Well, hopefully we see you more in the future.
You got it.
Awesome. And we're back. Here we are.
What a nice guy he is.
Yeah, it's actually really, really interesting. When I was talking to all of these guys, and especially my interview with Kristin Kreuk as well, they're just such down-to-earth people. I mean, we were talking with Stone Cold a little bit afterwards. I keep calling him Stone Cold. Steve Austin afterwards. And he's just really down-to-earth, sharing stories about his kids and things like that. So if you ever have a chance to meet these people, they're really cool.
And huge.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that guy's enormous.
Yeah, mind you, on the Chuck set, it's hard to look huge because Zach is killer tall. Then
Yeah.
you've got Captain Awesome. I mean, Stone Cold, and a lot of the guest stars they've had are like these big, brawling guys.
I think it's the tallest cast on TV, isn't it?
One of them. I mean, I'm 6'2" and change, and I was looking up to all these guys.
Mm-hmm. And we want to thank our sponsors, Movie Morons Podcast at moviemorons.com and SyrianJunkies.de. Movie Morons, of course, is a podcast about movies. They try not to be snobby, they said. Mostly they just have fun talking about movies. And SerienJunkies.de is the biggest TV fan site in Germany. They cover everything, including Chuck. So we encourage you to check out both of those sites as well. And thanks to them for sponsoring us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks.
And if you'd like to be notified about goings-on at the podcast, you can either just follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Gray Jones or chucktv.net. You can get information about our Twitter handles on either of our sites. And also, we want to remind you to continue thinking about Chuck is On for anything you might want to order from Amazon.com. You can actually order not only the things we've selected, but anything in the Amazon catalog. You can order through Chuck is On. It gives us a little kickback. And donations and merchandise orders are always appreciated.
You can also, if you have any questions or comments to share, we invite you to use the email at mail@chuckpodcast.com.
We want to urge you to vote for us at Podcast Alley, and also watch for us this upcoming week. It could be Friday, could be Monday. We're going to have an interview with Kristin Kreuk. You're going to love it. And that's all we got for non-spoilery stuff. So if you're not wanting to hear the spoilers, you can turn off the podcast now. If you love the spoilers, then keep on watching or listening. And we're back. Mel, what have you got for us?
Well, I, for one, love spoilers. So we have the 3.07 synopsis, the official one from NBC. That episode is called Chuck versus the Mask, and it airs on February 8th. This is the last one to air prior to the Olympics. So, but, we made it through 8 months. We can make it through a 2-week break for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
The synopsis says that Chuck must protect Hannah when they find themselves partners on a mission. Chuck and Hannah unexpectedly become part of Agent Daniel Shaw's latest mission. Much to Sarah's chagrin, she gets paired with Shaw, who seems to be trying to get closer to her. Meanwhile, Morgan and Allie continue their mission to get to the bottom of Chuck's secretive and strange behavior.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And this next one's a long one, so I hope you don't mind. I'm going to turn my eyes a little and read off of the page. The casting call for episode 314. I can't believe we've got casting news already going that far, but they're well advanced in production. Chuck versus the Honeymooner. And it's the first step of the new extended season, the little mini season after the first 13. We've got a casting call for Juan Diaz Arnaldo, early 40s, Javier Bardem type, scruffy, handsome, actually rather articulate and sensitive. Arnaldo is a renowned Basque terrorist who happens to be traveling with his 2 thugs on the same train as Chuck and Sarah. Despite his violent background, he's a rather refined European gentleman who can be gracious and charming, especially to Sarah. I love the fact that they're going on trains and planes and all those others, just exotic locations and stuff.
Yeah.
Another one is Mustache Man.
I
like that
title.
one. This French man with a mustache seems somewhat menacing and treacherous until it's revealed he's a steward on the train carrying Chuck and Sarah. He brings many room service meals to them in their compartment, and Riley reminds them that the train does have a dining car. I see just a comedy character here. That sounds pretty fun. A Canadian woman, like that.
Yay!
Aliyah. This apparently innocuous Canadian woman on the train is actually a former accomplice of Arnaldo's, who's involved in a plot to retrieve him and bring him to justice for selling out their Basque terrorist group. She is tough, fearless, and relentless. Sounds Canadian.
That is the first thing that comes to mind when someone says they're from Canada.
And actually, this one's full of casting. Thug number 1, Interpol agent number 1, Thug number 2, and Interpol number 2. These 2 Spanish thugs traveling with renowned Basque terrorist Juan Diaz Arnaldo. And then we've got a Polish rocker to round things out. This skinny Polish punk rocker in chains and tats is another passenger on the train. Sarah strikes up a conversation with him in Polish in order to stealthily retrieve him of his handcuffs. Very cool. I love it when we pull in their other languages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they seem to be doing that a little bit more with Sarah.
Yeah.
Hey, you may as well use it if you've got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, when this casting call came out, I have to admit I was pretty skeptical because that is an awful lot of information they gave us.
Mm-hmm.
They don't normally tell us how characters relate to each other or how these characters, this specifically, how they relate to Chuck and Sarah. So, I initially said take this with a grain of salt, but I don't know. We're having a lot of fun speculating about it, about what's going on in the circumstances that have Chuck and Sarah on this train together and why it's honeymooner with no plural, no S on the end. And anyway, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we forgot to mention this last time, but Scott Bakula is returning as Stephen Bartowski. Yay, I'm so excited. I know. So anyway, no word on which or how many episodes that he'll do, but they'll certainly be after the original 13 episodes run. So be watching out for that.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited he's back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was awesome when he was on.
He was.
Yeah.
Perfect addition to the cast.
Yeah. And that's all we got for spoilers. So want to urge you to listen this week for our interview with Kristin Kreuk.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.